MarzGurl.
I'm JoshKnightTheFirst.
Welcome to episode 94 of MokkoriPlay, the only podcast dedicated solely to all things City Hunter.
On today's podcast, we're going to cover Season 2, Episode 43 of City Hunter, titled Ryo is the Love Thief, Hidden Love Affair Behind the Magic Mirror, Part 1.
It's another two-parter.
Yeah, it's a two-parter, but like we alluded to last week, this is the first and I believe only time that you're ever going to see in the run of City Hunter where an old character from a previous season comes back.
And actually, does stuff. And has more stuff to do.
It's crazy because out of all the women in Ryo's life who swear they're gonna come back or swear that they're gonna marry him, this is the only one that not so much made good on it because they weren't looking for Ryo necessarily.
Also, did she even say, I'm gonna come back to him one day, like a bunch of these other people did? So this person was from episode, 11 of season 1?
Yeah, so if you want a refresher course on this, go back to our episode, which would be episode 11 of this podcast, where we cover The Hot Woman in a Leotard Loves Tulips. That's the episode we covered where this character, Kasumi, first showed up.
Oh, was this the one where you had to steal the flower and it was the wrong color or whatever? Or is that a different flower?
That was the one because the grandfather had...
And he was blind,
yeah.
And so you had to lie to him.
Yeah, this is the one.
It totally bloomed in the color you wanted, Grandpa, but it didn't.
So if you compare that to this episode, there's going to be a couple of inconsistencies, but we'll bring that up once we actually get into the episode proper.
Okay, great.
And before we get started, we had just one little bit of housekeeping business that we wanted to let you guys know about. We have merch now.
Yes! In fact, I had intended to bring this up last week, but if you are ever in the future listening to this on YouTube, that would make this a lot easier. But, I mean, you could go to YouTube right now. I've been re-uploading our podcast on youtube.com/MarzGurl. On that page, there is a store tab, and in the store tab, you can buy shirts, mugs, tote bags, stickers and shit. All kinds of shit. You can buy all kinds of MokkoriPlay shit. It's all got our logo on it. And if you actually like this podcast, you can get a thing from it. That's the thing you can do now. I think that's pretty cool. We actually should get some of our own merch.
We really should. We've waited almost 100 episodes to finally decide, you know what, let's pull the trigger on merch.
Yeah, we did kind of wait on that one.
Almost a full 2 years, but we finally got there.
Yeah, you know, it's YouTube merch prices, you know, what can I say about those prices, but...
The important thing is, we did it, and it's a thing you can help to contribute to this podcast, so that'd be cool if you did it.
And then we will feel motivated to not stop somewhere in the middle of this season or something. I don't know.
I mean, we're not going to stop in the middle. There's only so much left of this season to begin with.
Yeah, but it's only so good until it's, really peak good, and then you're like, oh...
We're getting closer, though.
It keeps going after that. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Trust me, we're going to let you guys know well in advance, which is actually probably within the next month or two here, once we hit peak City Hunter.
Right.
And then from there, we'll just keep going, because we said we're going to do it, and we're going to do it, damn it.
We're going to do it.
So yeah, go check that out. Just head over to youtube.com/MarzGurl, head over to the shop tab, and check out the merch.
The store tab.
That's what I meant.
It's
the store tab.
Same. You'll figure it out. It's there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right, so let's go back to the podcast, and so we'll start off here in Season 2, not Season 1. And we're dealing with the same old problem we're always seeing happen. Cowdy is trying to get Ryo to go hit the streets and pass out flyers, but unfortunately Ryo has already jumped out the window to go get chicks.
I guess he was very concerned, oh man, I already know today she's gonna make me go out and try to proselytize to people about our services, and I do not want to do that, so he didn't even go out his own front door. He has to climb out his window.
No, he Scott Pilgrimed out his own window.
Yeah.
Now the thing of it is, we're trying to compare this to other episodes that we've been dealing with here in this season, and this last couple of episodes before this last two-parter we went into, Cowdy had been complaining that they didn't have a lot of cases, so they were kind of low on funds. Also, we assume they were trying to save up enough money to get the mini back. So, based off the last episode where, remember, it's this little girl and her nanny that were part of this real big conglomerate.
You would like to think they gave them money for services.
Right, because they could afford to pay it. So in cases like that, the two of us have to assume that they were paid very well, very handsomely.
So why do they desperately need to go pass out flyers? I guess the money has to run out eventually. Seriously.
Well, I mean, think of it as us, right? You and me, we're City Hunter, right? We have to, like, back pay. Just imagine with me here. You have to back pay some bills, right? Like, you got to put some stuff on the back burner. You got to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, that's what it's like living in almost poverty, which is most people, because let's face it, you are not any closer to being a billionaire than you are to being homeless. Every one of you listening. Who hasn't done it? Who hasn't said, I can't pay the electric bill this month, I have to pay the gas bill instead? We've all done it. Let's just be honest. We've all done it.
And you have to imagine that Rio and Cowdy are having to do that as well if, you know, they're not getting enough cases. Especially, you would know this if you're working with what basically amounts to freelance work.
Right.
If you're on freelance work, you don't have a set schedule. You don't know when the next check is coming.
Feast or famine. Sometimes it's really great, and other times you're like, holy shit, where's the work?
So I can understand Cowdy being really adamant about making sure Rio is helping them actually have money, but it's not like I don't understand that Rio is gonna do what Rio does.
And Rio wants chicks.
And he's out in front of what we believe to be some sort of, like, all-women's college campus.
Because he's done that before. Like, he doesn't say where he is, but, like, the architecture and the fact that it seems to be all young women going in and out of there appears to make it look like this is an all-women's college. I feel like I can safely make that assumption.
And I'm not gonna front, Rio's kind of a bastard right now, because he's out there being like, ooh, she's hot, I would go out with her. Ooh, she's wearing glasses, I will pass on that one.
Well, he's like, oh, she looks snooty.
I mean, does she, though?
I don't know, she just looks like a person in glasses.
That's what I'm saying.
I know. And a bunch of women are like, who's this weirdo muttering to himself? What a freak.
Yeah, so just FYI, don't do that in public. Don't mutter about people.
Like, don't go looking for people and then start muttering about them in front of them.
Like, I forget when it was. It was within this past 2 weeks. I saw this story on TikTok of a woman who lives in Japan talking about she was on the train with her friends from school, and across sitting from them was this, you know, middle-aged businessman, and he was talking and muttering to himself, looking at them from across the train. Like, they were foreign students there in Japan, and it appears that every time they would talk, he would mutter to himself, so she started to, like, pick up on that and listen in, and he was muttering to himself, kawaii ne. Like, he was calling them cute every time these American students would talk, and it's like, that's freaking gross.
Yeah, like, unfortunately, I've halfway kind of been there, too. Because in 2008, that's when I was in school in Japan, too. Like, Japanese dudes be like that sometimes, but specifically, like, middle-aged dudes.
Right.
Okay? Like, weird middle to old men, okay? Fucking weird guys out there, okay? Just fucking weird. Which is not to say there aren't fucking weird men in America too.
Oh, and are they?
But those were some of the weirdest experiences I ever had. They're fucking weird dudes.
So you can imagine why Rio's not getting any play right now.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a creep.
Cause mind you, everybody else around them also knows that they're fucking weird dudes.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. It's just that nobody is brave enough to be like, let's go tell this fucking weird dude he's a fucking weird dude. Nobody does that. They're just like, I just don't want to make eye contact with this guy. That's the way that society is. We're just not gonna interact with him. He's just really weird.
So Rio's not getting anywhere with this, as you would figure, because, yeah, he's coming off as creepy. And then he sees this woman ahead of him who's very, very attractive to him. She's got long green hair. She should be familiar to him, but Rio doesn't immediately recognize her. And he approaches her like, oh my god, you're the prettiest girl I've seen today. You want to go out?
And she's like, oh, it's Rio. Do you remember me? And he's like, no.
Who are you again?
And I kind of don't, actually. But he should, because they've interacted before. But I guess after you've hit on so many women, they all just sort of blur together, which is really shitty.
Yeah, so she has to take him to, like, the side of a clothing store so she can point out, hey, look over at this leotard. Does the leotard ring any bells for you? Huh? Is that doing it?
Oh, yeah, you jumped over my head a few times, and I called you the flying butt.
The flying rump they use in the subtitles, but yeah, it's the flying booty. That's who that was.
And at the time, she was 17 years old, so that was fucking weird. But I'm assuming that I'm having to make an assumption. Time has actually passed. Okay?
Well, because if that was episode 11 of that season and we went for... We're talking like 80 episodes later, and if these are all airing weekly, that's over a year later, right?
Right. And, like, we've also seen the date on things in the show. Like, it said, like, Christmas 88 or something.
So,
like,
by now, I think it's 89 by now, right?
I think.
Because if it was already gonna be Christmas more than a few episodes ago, then surely it's already crossed. Because it's only a week's difference between Christmas and New Year's.
The show started in 87?
Yeah, and we just had a Christmas episode, and we knew it was already 88, so it's gotta be 89 now.
Okay. So, I feel like, is she there in that area because she has to go to college? Like, she's
that
one
would
of the
make
college
sense,
girls.
yeah.
So she's in college now.
Yeah, she's more than legal, I would imagine.
I'm having to make an assumption based on environment in the show, because all these girls are around here because it appears to be a college campus. Like, she doesn't say anything about, oh, I'm in college now, you just caught me, like, in between classes or whatever. She doesn't say that, but why is she there at the girls' Of course, why is Rio there? He doesn't belong at a girls' college. But he's there for college women, so I think she's a college-aged adult person now.
I would agree to that.
So she's like 18, 19. I think she's maybe 19.
18 at minimum.
Yeah.
So we feel pretty safe in that.
Yes.
So they start walking down the street together, and Rio's like, that's right, you went by, like, Phantom 305. That's right, I remember you. Hey, you want to go somewhere? We want to go do something? And she's like, yeah, why don't we go back to my place?
Nobody's home. Like, why don't you come over to my place? My parents are out.
And Rio's like, I am down with that. So, yeah, what are we going to do? Whoa, hold on. We're not going to do anything just yet. I have to prepare myself. Give me like 5 minutes, exactly 5 minutes, and then come down the hall to the end where my room is.
And she's saying to herself as she walks down the hall, good luck, Rio. So whatever is happening, she wants him to be successful at it, but it doesn't seem normal.
And for the record here, she's not at like an apartment or anything. This is a giant-ass mansion.
It's always a mansion. It's always a mansion. All the people he deals with all have mansions except the orphans.
Except the orphans. If the orphans have a mansion, then they're having a lot of fun as orphans. But that's never happened, though.
That wouldn't happen, no.
So after what feels like an eternity for Rio...
And Rio's like pacing the halls. He's doing push-ups. He's doing sit-ups. He's just trying to do anything to kill 5 minutes, and he feels like 5 minutes is taking forever. But ding! There it is. 5 minutes completely passes on the clock, and he's like, I'm going in there! And he runs in, and he doesn't think twice about the fact that this hallway is full of traps.
And these aren't like umibozu traps that are made out of bamboo and stuff. These are like rock and kind of like medieval torture device coming out of the wall.
Like stone spikes, we've got spears, and like the floor flips up and it's more spikes, and then the ceiling drops and it's more spikes, and then these spears are being shot at him like it's friggin' Temple of Doom.
Indiana Jones, yeah.
Like, just ridiculous stuff.
But Rio is at maximum Mokkori power right now, so he's just plowing straight through.
And like very literally, because he runs through the stone spikes.
Not over, through. Like, they are breaking.
Like, he plows directly through them. He bites a spear that's flown into his face. Like, he just puts his mouth on it. And just shatters this arrowhead right off the thing.
The back of his jacket is getting torn the hell up.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care that it's getting all torn up. Here's a thing that I'm gonna love throughout the episode. They commit to leaving his jacket all tattered throughout the majority of the rest of this day that has been animated in this show. I think it's great.
And Rio, like, busts through the door at the end of the hallway. He's ready. He does the Lupin jump through the air, like, come on, let's bone! And he sees there's a body in the bed that's in the direct middle of the room. And as soon as he lands on the body, which seems to be warm, he just starts air humping. He didn't even pull the blanket aside. He's just going.
He didn't jump out of his clothes or anything.
Like, he's still fully clothed. And he's just there humping away. Like a friendly dog at a park.
And plants kisses. He gets like 1 or 2 or 3 onto this person. There's a person there.
There is a person there.
It's not the person he thought it was.
Because Kasumi's at the front of the room where he blew past the door, being like, okay, well, how'd he do, Grandma?
Grandma! There's an old lady in the bed. There's an old woman in this bed.
And Rio's over here like, oh my god, it does taste like Grandma.
So what do you mean, Grandma? How did he do? Oh, he passed the test. He passed the test!
Yeah, you two can get married. Marriage? What? Would you like to explain? Because here's why we need a lot of explanation. Because if we go all the way back to episode 11 from last season, Kasumi said nothing about having an extended family. We heard about the grandfather with the orchid.
Sure, yeah.
But we didn't hear anything about grandma being a thief. Nor did we hear about Kasumi coming from a family of thieves. Yeah, none of that was there.
I feel like we could have made Grandpa happy in death a lot easier if we had a family of thieves on the case to do this stealing of the tulip or whatever from the first season. Like, I just feel like we could have been a lot more successful and might not have needed City Hunter. I just kind of have that suspicion.
Because you were getting upset last episode that they tacked on the, oh, it turns out the father of this conglomerate had been poisoned. Like, that was tacked on. You want to talk about tacked on? We've added on a whole ass family here.
Well, here they are. So, this family got some bullshit rules, okay? So, one, you're familiar with the traditional, oh, we're just gonna arrange a marriage for our kids. Like, that is a thing that used to happen in Japan all the time. Now, it still sometimes happens, but it's a lot less common. Okay, so I'm used to that idea, right?
Like, it shows up in media a lot.
Sure, I'm used to that idea. I get it. And some cultures, some other cultures, still do that as well.
I mean, some of it is just based in class, some of it is based in just prejudice. It's worldwide, actually.
It really is. That's what I'm saying, is that this is not just unique to Japan. This is a worldwide idea.
So the problem here in this episode is that Kasumi's family, the Aso family, has this rule in place that the women of the family, once they turn 20 years old, which must mean Kasumi's about to turn 20.
Right, that's what I'm thinking, is that she could be 19 and she's about to turn 20.
Once you become 20, if you were a thief up to that point, the day you turn 20, you have to quit being a thief.
If you are a woman, yes. That's kind of bullshit.
That's already bullshit.
I mean, it's not good to be a thief, but you know, if you're...
But what if you're good at it?
If you're thieving for the right reasons and you're very good at it, and Kasumi didn't seem like awful at it.
No, like she was younger, but I imagine she's improved a lot since then.
Very probably, yeah. Like, if this is a capable person, you just decide, no, woman not capable, woman make babies immediately.
Because that's the problem.
That is also the problem with this family. You have to marry a guy who is, like, better at thieving than you, that the family picks for you, and you give us more children to put into this family to make more thieves, more thieve babies, thieves, many baby thieves.
But if they're a female baby thief, they will only be a baby thief for so long, then they'll be an adolescent thief, and then they'll be a teenage thief, but they can't be an adult thief if they're female, because then they gotta do the same thing that just happened to you. Just perpetuate the cycle.
Man, fuck this family, what the hell?
And so the only loophole that exists for this family, which is kind of bull anyway, which kind of, you know, stop me if I'm wrong here, kind of goes into a little bit of eugenics, is that if the family picks a guy, that's one thing. But if the girl of the family who is getting married off finds a better candidate who can prove themselves to be a better thief and better able to produce thief babies down the line, then he will usurp the guy they already chose.
Yeah, like, she's gotta make him prove it. We are in this current position now, where Ryo is realizing Grandma gave her blessing, but not necessarily to immediately just marry me. She has given her blessing to be a candidate
to
for
put you in the
marriage.
running.
To put you in the running to even marry you. And Ryo's not really thrilled about this, but as, like, the two of them have been having this conversation in, like, the yard, the courtyard, the front yard, the side yard. It's a big house. It could
outside
be
the house.
Outside the house. They're in a yard near the house, and they walk up to the house, and they're having this conversation, and he gets up the stairs.
And she asks him, look, that's what this is. I know this is bull. Will you do this for me? Will you pretend to be my suitor, my boyfriend, my whatever, so that I can get out of this bullshit marriage?
And he's not really sure about it at first, but then he gets to the top of the stairs, and this asshole shows up. And this is the actual fiance, the current chosen guy by the family.
Goes by the name of Takashi. And we look at him, and one, he looks like a scumbag. His suit is like Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal colors.
Okay, yeah.
But on top of that, the two of us can't help but notice the way this guy is drawn, he almost looks exactly like Nishikiyama from the first Yakuza game.
Yakuza 1 specifically because of the way his hair is slicked backwards.
Yeah.
It's long, and it's ugly, gross, slicked back.
And he's kind of got the same look on his face.
A little bit, yeah. And he's just like, I'm so smug, and I'm a great thief. and
this guy's just like dripping asshole.
Yeah.
And nobody likes a dripping asshole.
Ew.
Exactly, that was my thought. And so she's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, your grandma invited me because she likes me.
Grandma!
Yeah. And so they go inside to have like introductions because, like you said, Rio has been at least accepted to be a candidate for husband-to-be.
So Rio starts trying to make excuses or really...
hype himself up to the grandma.
Yeah, like say, like come on, these tests, do you really need to do a test to figure out which one of us is gonna make better and more thief babies? Because if we're talking about who can actually produce thief babies, none of these tests are gonna help you figure that out. I can tell you right now, I am the king of making babies, and my
I don't know if you've heard of me, ma'am, Miss Grandma, ma'am, sir, also, ma'am. I am Rio Saiba, I'm City Hunter. I am also known as the Mokkori Man.
But, like, I don't see, like, that's not a sperm count test.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of not science in this episode.
There's some science that, like, even in the 80s, we could at least be doing some fertility tests, okay? If you really wanted to have this. I feel like everyone in this room has the answer completely wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone in this room. But...
it's a tie, you both lose.
But smarmy dude over here with slick back greasy hair...
not Nishiki, Takashi.
He's very convinced that he is the better Mokkori man.
Also, he's clearly an ass kiss to the grandma.
But he's like, oh no, we can prove right now which one of us is the Mokkori man. And Rio's like, yeah, but like, I'm not into dudes. We don't need to...
well, he's like, come with me. Come with me to this back room.
I think Rio is convinced that this man is asking him for sex.
Like, I don't know how Rio made that jump in logic when he asks, come with me. And Rio's like, I don't do dudes, man. What do you want?
But to be fair... what he is asking him is still kind of strange.
Well, it's more than that. We find out here in just a second, because Rio gets dragged off into this other room by Takashi. It's real quiet for like 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden, you hear this blood-curdling scream coming from behind the door, and it's Rio yelling.
Takashi is the only one to leave the room. This is like 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, and that's literally what happens. It's just Takashi who comes back out, and Takashi is like, yes, that settles that. I think we can just do the test, Grandma. Okay, great. We're just gonna do the test in 3 days.
Dude takes off, and Kasumi's like, oh my god, Rio, what happened to him? She goes in there, and he's damn near catatonic. He's just laying there on the floor, like he's seen something horrific.
And as it turns out, Rio says, his is 5 centimeters bigger than mine. Oh no! I'm not the Mokkori man I thought I was. So, like, our assumption is, dude has whipped his dick out.
He has done a sexual assault to Rio. He has brought him into this room. He whipped his dick out. Rio made an honest assessment of how big this guy's dick was freaked out about it, and is catatonic on the floor, and he just left. That is the definition of a sexual assault.
Yeah, and I'm not really certain. We can't know whether or not Rio whipped his dick out to compare. He may already be well aware of how big his own dick is.
You know he is. You know he's measured it.
He's measured it before.
You know he has. He knows that number by heart.
He could just lie and say, that's not bigger than mine, but I guess if you have to be really honest with yourself because you have prided yourself and made your entire identity around how big your dick is, then I guess you would be really crushed by that, I guess?
That's what's happening here, is that he's crestfallen.
This is the very definition of toxic masculinity.
Oh yeah.
Is that you have made your entire personality about how big your dick is, and then if you learn somebody else has a bigger dick, that just destroys your entire life.
It's like that one episode of Family Guy.
You could say that about anything. I have no idea what you... There's that one episode of Family Guy about any situation.
No, it's an early episode. It's very specifically about Peter finding that out about Chris.
Anyway, that's what this episode is about dick size. This whole episode is about penis size, Josh.
And so back at the apartment, Kaori is there with Kasumi in the living room, and they're trying to figure out, oh man, is Rio gonna get over this? I don't know if he's gonna come back from this. But, you know, for the record, Kasumi, I just want you to know, I think that rule is bullshit. I'm on your side.
In the middle of that conversation, Rio busts in the door. And he's like, all right, I'm here to train. And he's brought a bunch of barbells with him. And again, I'm just like, oh man, here comes the toxic masculinity. He thinks he's got to like lift weights to be the better thief guy? That doesn't make any sense. But no, that's not what this is about. He's like, I'm gonna make sure that I can lift weights using only my Mokkori. And you're sitting here left to wonder, does he mean that just by like, he just needs to get his mojo back? But no, like, I'm convinced he literally means he wants to lift weights with his penis because he has a rope tied to these barbells. And I don't know if you've ever seen people who can do this, right?
See, I didn't want to know that people existed that did this, but apparently they do.
But yeah, there are dudes out there in the world, and I've unfortunately seen video of it. Thankfully, there's just enough cloth to make it a bearable thing to look at, that have trained to lift heavy things with their penis, and they will tie things to the head of their penis, and then you see, like, there's a loincloth, so you can't see the penis, but you see, and he's not swinging his hips, but the thing is lifting and lowering, okay, with just penis power. And so when I'm seeing there's a rope tied to barbells, that is what I'm assuming Rio is talking about doing.
I just need our listening audience to know that I have been married to Kaylin for over 9 years now. This is the most I've ever heard her say the word penis in my lifetime.
Penis.
Wow. I'm so glad that audio is not going to get used against you in the future.
You know it'll be bullshit when it is, though.
I know. And so Cowdy realizes this is some toxic masculinity bull, and so she like deadlifts over her head this barbell to come crashing down on Ryo's head. But we look at the barbell. She throws down 3 sets of barbells on top of Ryo. One set has like her picture engraved on the side, and there's like kanji on it that reads, as we translated it, a gift from Cowdy. And from Cowdy is in English.
I love how she has personalized barbells. Also, the one that she deadlifts all the way over her head is something like 1,000,000 tons.
But that's just one side, though.
Yeah, so it's 2,000,000 tons. It's 2,000,000 tons,
Cowdy
Josh!
can deadlift 2,000,000 tons, and she still looks that slim. That's goals.
You can't have...
You scrubs can't get on Cowdy's level.
But you can't have that kind of muscle and not, like, where does it go? Where is it?
She has figured out her body fat ratio. She has figured out the right way to do gains. She's got the whole thing figured out. Forget Atkins, forget P30X or whatever it's called. Whatever Cowdy's workout regimen is, she's got it down pat, because she can do that.
Okay, I mean, this isn't about body fat. This is just muscle. You can't...
No, it's all bull. That's the whole point. This is all bull. And as she's slamming down the divine punishment hammer over his head, she's reminding him, hey, dumbass, you need thief skills. Lifting ain't gonna do anything for your ass.
And so that seems like he's agreed, because later on that evening, he goes outside
to the roof
with Kasumi. He's in just like jogging clothes, like he's...
Well, no, he looks like he's dressed like a gymnast. He's got the white track pants.
I don't even know that they're track pants. I think they're sweatpants. And
well, track pants, sweatpants, get workout pants.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's ready for a workout, and he's got like a sleeveless shirt with the
tank top.
Sleeveless tank top shirt with the Japanese flag on it. So
most patriotic we've ever seen him.
And Kasumi's like, all right, so we're just gonna do a thing here where you've got to catch me, and you're gonna chase me around town, and you have to follow my exact route. Just go where I go, and this all ends as soon as you catch me. And he's kind of not feeling it right now.
He's like, yeah, all right, we can do that. That's fine.
But she knows, like, he's never gonna catch me if he's like this, because he's still really depressed and stuff. So I'm gonna tell him, hey, if you catch me, I'll let you touch my butt.
And he doesn't immediately respond. He's just kind of like stuck there. And she's like, oh God, should I? Because she's not actually wearing the leotard. She's just wearing the clothes she was wearing downstairs. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh man, should I have brought the leotard? Maybe I needed the leotard. Does he need the leotard? And while she's thinking that, this like energy starts like crackling off him, like pre-Super Saiyan style.
He's ready to go now. Right now, he's fine. He's doing great. He's not even thinking about how depressed he is. Yes, I want to touch some butt. Let's go.
And so the chase starts, right? And to flashback to last season, some of you might remember, some of you might not. Kasumi can damn near fly from rooftop to rooftop.
Yeah.
She like has float cast on her.
Yeah.
Like she just like effortlessly from one building to the next. Kind of like, you know, in Perfect Blue when Mima sees the other her floating from rooftop to rooftop.
Which is fake, it's not real. But that's
it's like that.
But it's besides the point.
It's the visual.
It's the visual of it. But Ryo can kind of do that too when he's motivated enough. He doesn't look nearly as graceful doing it.
But he can make it. He makes the jumps.
He looks insane. But
except for the one time he like missed and hit the ground right in front of a paper boy trying to make his rounds, and he's like, what the hell was that?
But Ryo ignores it and he just keeps going. He like cockroach climbs up the side of a building.
Again, a horny Spider-Man.
With just his bare hands and shoed feet right up the side of a wall. This goes on apparently like all night long.
And apparently without either of them knowing, Takashi was out there too watching them train. He's like, damn, he's actually doing really good. I need to throw him off his game.
Ryo's sitting at the top of a lamppost like, man, wish you'd make this a little bit easier. But the good news is, like, I'm near Cat's Eye.
It's already morning by this point.
Like, the sun has come up. Oh, there's a billboard in the background, too. It's an advertisement basically for the Sony Walkman, but it's not really. It's a knockoff Sony Walkman. It's the SNY, the SNE Walkmen. Multiple men.
Multiple Walkmen.
Well, multiple Walkmen from SNE.
And he's like, well, it's morning. I could use some coffee. Let me go ahead and go inside Cat's Eye. So he walks in, Miki's there at the counter, and for whatever reason, Miki can't stifle her laughter at Ryo once he walks in.
And Ryo doesn't understand that, but also Umibozu is still there and still working at Cat's Eye, even though
I told you it was going to be more than just a day.
Yeah, Umibozu was like, I'm only going to work here one day, but that didn't happen, so now
Umibozu lives here.
He's a permanent establishment inside the establishment.
He's a permanent fixture at Cat's Eye.
Sure.
And at first, he's stonewalling Ryo like, you scared me. What are you doing, Umibozu? Hey, Umibozu.
But Umibozu is also laughing. He's also standing in front of a coffee can that in the back, it says that it's supposed to be extra something, but it's spelled EXTLA. So
Extla.
It's Extla.
Extla strength. Great.
I love how Japan spells.
So yeah, both Umibozu and Miki are laughing their asses off at Ryo, and he's like, hey, come on, what's so damn funny? And Umibozu he has no guile. He has no way of holding back what he's thinking. He just tells him flat out, you lost the dick measuring contest. Everybody in town knows.
Everybody here is so mean about penis size. This is actually kind of upsetting too. Like, why does this matter to people?
Well, I don't know that it matters to people, but I think it kind of goes back to what you said earlier, that everybody knows that Ryo has prided himself on having this as one of the core tenets of his identity. So they know if it was a blow to his identity, everybody knows it's kind of stupid. They're kind of taking pride in laughing at that about him.
So, dude here, Takashi has gone around
all night,
all of town,
through Shinjuku,
to every single establishment that Ryo frequents and says, hey, did you hear? I whipped my dick out at Ryo and showed him how much bigger my dick is than his. And then everybody believed it. Like, that's the thing I don't understand. If you ever hear a guy run around and just brag about how much bigger his penis is than anybody else, you've been in that situation, right? Like, I've been in that situation where some dude is just saying mad shit like that, and you just go, okay, bro, whatever. I don't know why you're telling me this. Why are you even telling me this in the first place? But
like, I don't know about you, but it was around any group of dudes I've ever been around, it's just kind of if you go down that road, it never ends well.
Yeah.
Because eventually somebody's going to ask you to prove it, and that just leads to a whole bunch of other uncomfortableness, at least as far as my experience has been or been around. So I wouldn't have even bothered doing that if I had been in this guy's shoes.
But apparently, in this town, it fucking worked. Now everybody thinks Ryo has a smaller penis, and they think it's very funny. All of Shinjuku thinks it's funny.
Or at minimum, if you rephrase that, all of Shinjuku is aware that Ryo is self-conscious about the size of his penis.
Well, yeah.
When you look at it that way, it makes a little more sense.
But that's not what they're laughing about, though. They are legitimately laughing because Ryo has a smaller penis than this other guy. That's what they're laughing about.
So Kasumi finds Ryo and sees that this has happened. They take him back to the apartment, and Ryo's there trying to play it off like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's cool. Size doesn't even really matter. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, I got this. Yeah, it's cool.
But he's just saying it because his poor brain has shattered.
His ego is what's shattered.
His ego is just demolished. Once again, that's aiding in toxic masculinity because he has put so much stock into penis size that it hurts him. Like, this is hurting dudes, right? Like, do we not understand this competitive mine is bigger than yours thing, like, hurts people?
Yeah, of course.
Like, it's actually really, really sad.
And so Cowdy's like, well, I guess you're screwed, Kasumi. When Ryo doesn't have his mojo, when he doesn't have his energy going, then he can't do anything. And it's only at this point that Kasumi finally remembers, hey, wait a minute. Takashi would know that about Ryo. He would know that without his power, he'd be useless. I wonder if this has anything to do with the way he plays dirty.
Oh, he plays dirty, does he? Maybe we should have had this explanation a little bit sooner? This conversation should have come up already. Like, if Ryo is just shattered after coming out of the room with that guy? Like, maybe we needed to have this talk before.
And so Cowdy asks her, well, what are you talking about? How does he play dirty?
Oh, well, he's not a normal thief. Like, he does do the thieving, but he doesn't do it in a thief kind of a way. He does it in a hypnotist kind of a way where he just hypnotizes people into getting the thing that he wants to steal.
Oh, okay,
well,
cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you. Wait, he hypnotizes people? Oh, that's what happened. Like, it's only just now that they connect the dots. Wait a minute, that's what had to have happened. An assault didn't technically happen. What Takashi did was he took Ryo into the other room and brained him into thinking that he showed him his dick and thinking that it was bigger.
What if he did show him his dick and it's smaller, but he hypnotized him into seeing it bigger?
So you actually want a headcanon that the assault did happen?
I think...
Is that what you're saying?
Look, this guy's an asshole, alright?
But you want to make him into a bigger asshole. That's what you want a headcanon.
I don't want to think about anybody's big asshole, okay? I mean, you had an asshole thing going on earlier, like, everybody's got one.
Look, I would prefer thinking that dude just tricked him into thinking he saw anything.
No, I agree.
So Ryo immediately is able to grab onto this idea that that's what happened. I just got hypnotized. That's all it is. That's all it is. I just got psyched out. And God bless Cowdy right here for trying to hype him up.
She's just like, yeah, there's no way that you've got a smaller dick than he does. Everybody knows you've got the biggest Mokkori. In fact, nobody would know that better than me. Wait, why did I just say that?
Like Cowdy out here trying to hype this man up over dick size.
Well, it's weird for a couple of reasons. One, it's an out loud admittance that she has seen his penis in front of another person, which, yes, that has happened.
At least twice.
And at least one of those times was not on purpose. Another time might have been. Okay, so yes, we know she's seen his penis, but how can she make that comparison? Oh, nobody's got a bigger dick than you, Ryo. Why do you know that? How many other dicks have you seen around town, Kelly?
Cowdy has seen as many dicks as she wants to see.
No.
She's a strong, independent woman. Whatever she's seen, that's up to her.
I'm not saying she can't. I'm saying, when has this been happening?
She's seen 37, Kaylin. 37 dicks.
37?
In a row? But also, on top of that, like, think about this logically for a second. That's some stuff your girlfriend does. That's some stuff your significant other does for you. Like, no, baby, you're the biggest. Oh, yeah. And it's like, you just said this in front of God and everybody, that you believe Ryo has the biggest dick.
Also in front of the girl that she's trying to help get Ryo engaged to.
Well, like, she knows it's a fake engagement. She knows that.
Yeah, it's still just, it's a weird thing. This is a weird thing to say in front of another person.
But it's at this point that I guess Takashi was like waiting in the hallway for like the right moment to see what he could bust in and then just bring down the mood of the room.
I heard you're talking about me and my penis.
Like some Yakuza knockoff Kramer just busting in the door like, haha, so you figured it out, huh?
And Ryo's very upset. He's like, I know what you did. I don't want to have to touch you, but I do have to punch you. So I'm going to punch you now. No, you're not.
And so Takashi, again, in front of everybody else, just brains Ryo, just like, woo.
And Ryo does not commit to the punch, which I think would have been, that would have been good enough, I think, probably. But it wasn't just that he did, but he doesn't know what he did to him. Ryo's
he just knows
like,
he did something.
What did you do to me? And he's like, oh, you'll figure it out, haha, bye! He kind of like tuxedo masks out.
Yeah, he tuxedo masks out, and he throws this picture behind him as he leaves.
Here's a picture of a sexy woman, bye!
Yeah,
and it's a photograph of like a practically naked woman.
This topless woman, she's covering up her breasts with her arm. Kaori and Kasumi see the picture and like, ah, God, why are we looking at this right now? And Ryo, he's just silent. He's not moving. He's not doing anything.
And that's when Ryo is like, I don't feel anything.
I can't get it up.
There's no Mokkori here to Mokkori.
And, like, this is the dumbest thing. Takashi, like, yells from down the hallway, yeah, I took away your Mokkori and you won't get it back unless you beat me, bye.
What a weird thing to just yell at somebody from outside the building.
And then... It's
a very strange episode ending.
This has to be one of the weirder cliffhanger endings. You mean I can't get boners?
So yeah, it is a weird ending, and because it is a two-parter, we have to see, well, how do we solve this problem? And part of my concern is the next episode has some, there's some stereotypes in there that I don't know how harmful they are, but they are stereotypes about, like, maybe if he's not feeling attraction to women, maybe he's acting a little more feminine now, and that's gonna come up. That's gonna come up this next episode.
Is it?
Pretty sure. Like, if he's not attracted to women, he starts doing stereotypically gay things. I'm pretty sure that's this next episode.
I don't remember rightly, and which is why we have to watch the episode again, but I hope that's not what it is, because we don't need more harmful stereotypes out of this show.
I don't know how
really
harmful they were. I just know that it was like, oh, he's just acting what you think gay people act like, even though gay people are not a monolith of one type of behavior. So
see, it's the catch-22 of the one time I'm okay with a returning character from a previous season, but at the same time, I'm gonna be really happy when we're done with this two-parter.
But he stops doing that after a while. I remember it stops.
I mean, good, but still shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, let's watch it next week and see how that goes.
And if you want, let us know if you're watching this eventually on YouTube. Let us know in the comments if you bothered to go back and count how many times Kaylin said penis.
Because I'm not gonna do that.
Because I'm not gonna do that.
We
count Mini Coopers.
You're the editor, and I'm not gonna ask you to do that.
No, I only count the number of times a Mini Cooper gets destroyed. That is all I count for this show. And princesses from fake lands.
We haven't seen one of those in a while.
No, it's been a minute.
Yeah, okay.
Eventually we'll get back to those.
So come back next time when we cover the 44th episode of City Hunter 2, Ryo is the Love Thief, Hidden Love Affair Behind the Magic Mirror, Part 2.
And if you want to catch us outside this podcast, you can always find us both over on most social media. I'm at JoshKnightTheFirst.
And I'm at MarzGurl. Thank you all so much for listening to our 94th episode of MokkoriPlay. And if you don't come back next episode, I'm taking Josh's power away.
I won't let you do that. I have the power!
No, you don't.
No.